Welcome to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the ages, unraveling the complexities of human history and the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of a pivotal moment in the annals of time as we delve into the remarkable tale of the Edict of Milan. In the early 4th century, the Roman Empire was ablaze with turmoil, its vast expanse torn asunder by the conflicting ambitions of rival claimants to the imperial throne. Amidst this maelstrom, a beacon of toleration and coexistence would soon emerge, forever altering the trajectory of Western civilization. The Edict of Milan, a groundbreaking decree issued in 313 CE, would proclaim the freedom of worship throughout the empire, marking a seismic shift in the relationship between the Roman state and the nascent Christian faith. To grasp the significance of this edict, we must first immerse ourselves in the tumultuous world of late antiquity. The Roman Empire, once a bastion of stability and power, had been beset on all sides by internal strife and external pressures. The assassination of Emperor Severus in 211 CE had unleashed a period of protracted instability, as various pretenders to the throne clashed in a series of brutal and devastating conflicts. One such claimant, Constantine, a skilled military leader with a keen eye for strategy, would eventually rise to prominence. Born in the city of Naissus in the province of Moesia around 272 CE, Constantine was the son of Flavius Constantius, a Roman general of modest means. The young Constantine's early life is shrouded in mystery, but it is known that he received a traditional Roman education, studying the classics and honing his martial skills. As we follow Constantine's ascent, we find him serving under the auspices of Emperor Diocletian, who had implemented a series of sweeping reforms aimed at revitalizing the empire. One such reform, the Tetrarchy, established a system of co-emperors, with 2 senior Augusti and 2 junior Caesars, each responsible for governing a distinct quadrant of the empire. Constantine's father, Constantius, was appointed as one of the Caesars, with jurisdiction over Gaul and Britain. Upon the death of Constantius in 306 CE, Constantine was proclaimed emperor by his father's troops, marking the beginning of a long and arduous campaign to assert his authority over the empire. His principal rival Maxentius, the son of Emperor Maximian, controlled Rome and much of Italy, while another claimant, Licinius, dominated the eastern provinces. As Constantine navigated this treacherous landscape, he began to forge alliances with various Christian leaders who saw in him a potential champion of their persecuted faith. The Roman Empire had long been hostile to Christianity, viewing it as a subversive and seditious force. The Great Persecution, initiated by Diocletian in 33 CE, had unleashed a wave of brutal repression against Christians, resulting in widespread martyrdoms and the destruction of churches. Constantine's own relationship with Christianity is a matter of ongoing debate among historians. While some argue that he was a sincere convert, others propose that his adherence to the faith was motivated by political expediency. What is certain, however, is that Constantine's interactions with Christian leaders, such as Bishop Eusebius of Nicomedia and Osius of Cordova, played a significant role in shaping his worldview and informing his future policies. As Constantine's interactions with Christian leaders deepened, he began to recognize the potential benefits of embracing their faith. In 312 CE, on the eve of the Battle of Milvian Bridge, Constantine reportedly experienced a vision in which he saw the cross of Christ emblazoned on the sun, accompanied by the words, "In hoc signo vinces, in this sign you will conquer." This epiphany, as recorded by the historian Eusebius, marked a turning point in Constantine's relationship with Christianity, and he subsequently adopted the cross as his standard, marching into battle with his troops beneath its emblem. The Battle of Milvian Bridge, fought on October 231 CE, proved to be a decisive victory for Constantine as he defeated his rival Maxentius, who drowned in the Tiber River while attempting to flee. With Maxentius's demise, Constantine became the undisputed master of the Western Roman Empire, and his newfound affinity for Christianity began to shape his policies. In the aftermath of the battle, Constantine issued a series of decrees aimed at restoring property and rights to Christians who had suffered during the Great Persecution. In February 3013 CE, Constantine met with his co-emperor Licinius in Milan, where they jointly issued the Edict of Milan, a groundbreaking decree that proclaimed the freedom of worship throughout the empire. This momentous document, preserved in the writings of the historian Lactantius, declared that no man whatever should be denied leave to follow the Christian religion or any other, which he has judged most suitable to himself. The edict further stipulated that Christians who had been deprived of their property during the persecutions should have it restored to them, and that churches and other places of worship should be rebuilt. The Edict of Milan marked a significant watershed in the history of Christianity, as it effectively ended the persecution of Christians within the Roman Empire. As news of the edict spread, Christians emerged from the shadows, and their churches began to flourish once more. The Bishop of Nicomedia, Eusebius, would later write that the Roman Empire was filled with a great light, like the rising of the sun, as the Edict of Milan brought an end to the long night of persecution. In the months and years that followed, Constantine continued to implement policies favorable to Christianity. He returned property to Christian communities, restored churches, and even provided financial support for the construction of new places of worship. On June 13, 3013 CE, he issued a decree granting tax exemptions to Christian clergy, further solidifying their position within the empire. As the Christian church began to consolidate its power and influence, Constantine's relationship with its leaders deepened, paving the way for the eventual establishment of Christianity as the dominant faith of the Roman Empire. As the years passed, the Edict of Milan continued to shape the trajectory of Christianity within the Roman Empire. In 34 CE, Constantine convened the Council of Aurel, a gathering of bishops from across the empire, which further solidified the church's position and addressed issues related to doctrine and practice. This council marked an important milestone in the development of Christian orthodoxy, as it brought together leaders from diverse regions to establish a unified framework for the faith. The Edict of Milan's impact was not limited to the Roman Empire, however. As news of the decree spread, it inspired hope among Christian communities beyond the empire's borders. In the words of the historian Sozomem, the emperor's decree was like a trumpet blast, proclaiming liberty to all who dwelt within the empire, and its effects were felt even in distant lands. The edict's influence can be seen in the growth of Christianity in regions such as Armenia, Georgia, and Ethiopia, where the faith took root and flourished in the centuries that followed. Despite the significant progress made, challenges still lay ahead. In 324 CE, Constantine defeated his co-emperor Licinius, reunifying the empire under a single ruler. While this consolidation of power allowed Constantine to further promote Christianity, it also led to increased tensions between Christians and pagans. The emperor's own family was not immune to these conflicts, as his son Crispus, who had been raised as a pagan, was eventually executed on charges of treason. The Edict of Milan's legacy extends far beyond the Roman Empire, however. It has been remembered as a landmark moment in the struggle for religious freedom and tolerance. As the historian Timothy Barnes notes, the edict marked a significant shift in the relationship between the state and religious minorities, establishing a precedent for the protection of minority rights that would be felt for centuries to come. The Edict of Milan is commemorated as a symbol of the enduring power of faith and the importance of protecting the rights of all individuals to worship freely. In the modern era, the Edict of Milan has been invoked by leaders such as Pope John Paul II, who cited it as an inspiration for his own efforts to promote interfaith dialogue and understanding. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.